Rest for episode 70. This one's going to be a very, very short rest because me and Amber, we got things to do. But that doesn't mean we don't want to break down what happened today, which honestly, technically,
a lot happened.
Really?
I feel like it was a lot. It was a lot packed into, like, I don't know, the one session, but I feel like a lot was done.
Okay. Maybe. I guess I don't feel like it was a lot, but let's go through what happened. First of all, Vera almost got knocked out again. What were you HP wise at the end of all those barrages?
I was actually better this time than that. Like, I really hadn't gotten hit, so you like knocked me in half. But like the last time was
like hit.
Yeah. So like this time I think I have 60 hit points or some shit, 60 something.
Okay.
So like yeah, no, I did better than last time.
I think the biggest play that happened today in terms of the fight was making use of the unicorn, or no, the Pegasus again.
Pegasus.
Rolly's 6-story jump and surviving it. Essentially, you did like a superhero landing, which I'm imagining what happened was like fist down, knee down, boom, dust everywhere.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it was, I mean, I'm probably going to try to bear the brunt of the impact with, like, my shoulder, just like, drop,
Yeah.
And then there's that moment of like, all right, that was a big drop. That hurt. I'm knocked out. Then I come to and it's like, bursting.
I think also a very visceral image was like Savannah climbing out of the refuge and destroyed a clock tower. And how much HP did you have? Because you said you were
Honestly,
looking.
had you not let me dodge, I would have went down. I had exactly 70 points left.
Yeah, you guys all saw the roll within Foundry. It was essentially like a 10d12 because it is several stories of scaffolding and metal gears and just everything falling down. Metal Gear.
What's that noise?
Huh? We need the exclamation point.
Yeah, I know.
Arcane.
Thanks, Temple. Thanks. Yes. Ding.
We're all nerds here. We all know. We all understand Metal Gear. Metal Gear. So you guys survived that with the natural 20 investigation. Again, I was saying this before all of this. I think I told Amber last week. I was like, I think you'll have to do several checks to find it. And you were like, okay. And I think you forgot about that.
Yeah, I did forget about that. I've been preoccupied, man.
But you got it. You did a successful disadvantage check and then a natural 20, which is, in my book, always 2 successful checks. Yeah, so that happened. You have the the wand, the evidence needed, several notes. And you guys split your time. We had Rolly and Savannah doing things.
Just what made sense, because I'm like, the whole Edgar thing was sad. Like, yeah. And I'm like, if she's freaking out, I'm just like, just go. Like, we'll figure it out the second part later. So.
Yeah, there was always a chance for you guys just to leave and not to investigate the florist. Get an understanding of how they arrived and maybe who was involved. I think the fact that you guys did hold off on your magic potion. Do you guys not have any other magic healing potions?
I don't. That's why I took
don't.
the potion.
I do.
Yeah, I think
Beyond the one that they gave you?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well,
I never use it because second
Raging.
win.
Yeah.
And raging, yeah.
Good point. It's lucky that you had it too, because you were able to bring back the florist back to life. There was going to be all these sort of challenges like, well, then how do you bring her back? Oh, Vera's gone. Now you can't. But you guys found a way, which worked out, and learned who's behind it.
Yeah. I was waiting to see when I was going to have to drop that evidence, but Rolly's speech kind of killed all that.
I mean, I'm going to give props. I mean, that was a very good speech.
Yeah.
We'll get to there when we get to there.
We'll get to there.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So let's split up the time. First of all, we had you two investigating the florist. Definitely I very much enjoy it when big time heroes spend time to do small things. So the fact that you were helping out, a fire, gathering injured people to a central area where they can be treated, is such a good image for heroes. And you guys did that. That was really good. Learning that it was Olivia, and then when we split our attention to the other side, where we had Vera present the body, learn that there's a thing I could have done, but I'll say that to the very end. But yeah, it's holding him in the crypt for now, and investigating the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Underneath. And there was a point, like, it was one of those things where I'm like, no way will Vera be able to get a right answer. That's the problem. You're always wearing that armor. They are domain people. They don't like the domain or the kingdom. You're a kingdom person. They don't like the kingdom.
I'm pretty sure they don't like anybody that's not Genesis that's
True.
asking them about their shit.
True. So, like, there's no way you're going to get a straight answer that can be incriminating.
Yeah.
Until Savannah showed up, who can do disguise self. And
That's why I was like, somebody can around here. I'll figure it out.
You didn't wait. You jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Search your... Kidding.
But you guys had 7 bodies to go through, so I think the fact that you were able to get the information you got,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I really can't help but feel partially responsible for everything that happened, given the fact that, like, we were scaling this giant, watchtower that was under construction and kind of were the primary reasons why this happened. So, the least I could do was help.
So then you guys talk to the queen, which you've never actually done before. She's usually she's usually the quiet one in the back when the king was there, and now this is sort of her time to shine. Definitely had another 3-check barrier for you guys to pass. The DC was getting lower every time you guys pass in a very high amount, so the fact that Rolly rolled a 15 was the DC.
Oh.
Because it was either going to be like, you're totally right, let's fix this, or that sounds like a nice story, let's think about it. And it would have been a delay in terms of response, but you guys jettisoned past that, so it was good.
Yeah, I had that. I've been thinking about doing that in at the appropriate time, and the moment that the queen asked, I usually tend to not speak up, because let's just say Vera and Savannah are better with words than Rolly is.
Mm-hmm.
But then this has been normally if it's like an impromptu meeting where we don't really have time to prepare, Rolly will generally stay quiet, right? Because he doesn't want to let the emotions get the best of him. But with this, after everything we've gone through, formulating everything, and not to mention, last episode, that brilliant conclusion that Rolly came with how this exactly took place. It's like it all came together in a way where, like, I need to come clean because I still feel partly responsible for the death of King Caspian, even though it's not really Rolly's fault. The fact that he wasn't more vocal with the king to let him know exactly what it is that we're dealing with, what the severity of it is probably the reason why he died. And he did not want history to repeat itself, so he just laid it bare, and that's how paint the picture. That's exactly how he would do it.
Yeah, you painted a good picture, and it came down to one single question that I think the queen was willing to admit at this point, because each of you had a success. Each and one of you spoke up and said your piece about what occurred and what's happening within the kingdom and the domain. And I think it was appropriate that Rolly's long speech was the last, but that doesn't single out that each and every single one of you had a moment to speak up, and you succeeded. So it turned to a point where she was like, it's time for me to admit and ask you all, the ones who have more attention on this than we do, is this a false war? Did we do this in false pretenses? And you were like, yes, it is. And she was like, calling off the war.
Like, shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you can't blame a person for doing what she did. All the information presented to her, it was like, this is what happened. We gotta go to war. They killed her king. And now she's like, shit.
Well, that's kind of the thing I wanted to bring up, because I had a second half of it prepared where I was gonna basically attempt to convince her with the evidence that we have. I was gonna tell her, like, he died. We have, not only do we have the weapon with that was used to kill him, we have notes stating that, like, this is a plot, that this is what it's gonna be. Even the notes from, like, them selecting a vantage point and it being the wrong one.
Yeah.
Right? We have all of this, and it's easy to see that the people that they killed in the very beginning at the gates, it's like, yeah, this is clearly a distraction, and, like, this is exactly what's happening. But when she told me, like, don't need an explanation, I don't need just a yes or no, and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Definitively yes.
I think it came to a point where you guys succeeded so much where it was like, you guys technically, game terms, collected 100% of the evidence I had.
Yes!
It was one of those things where it's like, not a lot to sway her emotions, considering that she's already read the notes, understanding what it means, and going, what do you, the professionals, think? And it was like, just give me yes or no, because I'm going to determine what I do next by your next answer. And all three were like, it's a bad war. Call it off. I also wanted to surprise you guys with something special. The fact that it's already established that Cistern is very much a nut for magical items, and exotic ones at that. And the carpet is very much an exotic item. So it was one of the things where it's like, he's like, I want to know what you have, because you travel fast. How do you do this? Is it just teleportation? And you were like, well, we have ways of doing it. We have a wagon. We can probably get a carpet. And he's like, excuse me. A what? I wanted to give you guys this really cool ability, almost like how Rolly's sword keeps on increasing and getting better, or axe, I should say. I wanted the same with a carpet. So yeah, you guys have a new way of getting time on and off for carpets.
Yeah.
It's only a bad thing if you roll very high for both.
Yeah.
Because then it's a little tricky, because it's like, I get to use the carpet for 10 days.
Oh, but it might be down for 10 days.
But now I gotta wait 10 days for this to finish.
Could you technically lucky that?
I'll let you use your
TM?
lucky. I'll let you use your lucky for that.
Just
Sure.
saying, you might want to break it. I mean, like, if you're not, if you haven't used your lucky all day and you're just like,
If you use up your lucky for that, I will accept it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I'll accept that.
My lucky is pretty good.
Yeah.
when you want to roll a 1. It's like opposite.
Now, one big thing that happened that I obviously was not planning for was the death of Edgar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I was trying to make it where, like, I was like, maybe Vera can transfer some of that pain to Rolly.
He wasn't close enough.
He was too far from your guys' location. So yeah, he essentially had 40 hit points or so. And he took about 20 hit points of damage throughout the fight. So it came to 20 points, brought him down. His match HP is 40. He still had 50 points left of damage. That already exceeded his max. Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rolls of the D12s were very high. It was 70 hit points of damage, so I was like, not fast enough.
I mean, if I wouldn't have burned my 8th level, I could have done resurrection, but I would have had to wait till I got to the castle, because then all my magic would be gone when I do that.
Yeah.
It just wipes it.
So what had to happen was Uthio would have stayed in the kingdom safe, and now he has to go fight. So that's a thing.
Well, I mean, it is kind of fitting though, because I mean, you know, especially with how Uthio is getting involved with the kingdom. Like, I see him not necessarily just doing his current role. I do see him excelling. I see him doing more. So to me, the fact that the queen actually wanted him to take care of this personally, to me, that's a good thing. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I trust you enough to do it. You do it.
This also...
Plus
Go on.
I was a troop reunion as well, so I'm like, okay, at least he's with people that he's safe with.
True. And this also kind of coincides with the rumors that Vera's heard from Celia,
Yeah.
which was they might be thinking of putting him as the general.
Which Vera doesn't like, but is not going to say anything.
I feel like this is more of my ways to poke Amber and her character to see if she's going to react. She hasn't reacted, so I'm going to keep on poking. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Because she's not, like, that's like the one person she would be like, if that's what you want, she's not going to say anything. She's going to leave it. And I told you, I think, when we were talking about it last episode, I go, she made, like, this whole 180 in her head, or 360 more like, because in the beginning it was like, let me protect him with everything I got, and let's see how I can keep him alive. And now it's like, I'm not even around. And he's never around me, so it's just like we're married, but we never fucking see each other.
So how do you feel about that? Because when you say it like that, that sounds very sad.
But that it is though, because I was just like, in the event that we don't die, like best case scenario, we fix everything in the game, and he's still Royal General, and she still wants to be some sort of contribution to Paylor, maybe not in a temple, or maybe she still goes out and does stuff when she's needed to. They're never gonna see each other, at least not in his lifetime. Like, not like how they wouldn't be a little married couple until like maybe he's too old to do that anymore. So that's what I was telling Mike. I was like, there's probably gonna be a break in that relationship, not like apart, but like there's gonna be a conflict of she's gonna have to choose. Like, what do I do?
So, just to wrap things up for you guys, full disclosure, you guys, did investigation. You guys fought the mountains, did a very complex fight in the clock tower, investigated things. You did also investigate, like, the throne room, talk to the queen. You're gonna go to the desert, and you're gonna try to solve a problem there. At the end of the desert thing, for you guys to know, two things are gonna happen. First of all, you guys are gonna level up. That's it. That's the end of the desert when you've stopped. If you can, really, you can complete that arc. You guys will level up. In addition to that, I'm planning in game to have a 2-month break. It's a question for you guys. What do you guys do? What do Vera, Rolly, and Savannah do for 2 months of freedom? Where within that time period, nothing really big is going to happen.
I feel like we're all going to silently panic at home.
I mean, I have things to do. If I'm not working with you guys, I have a whole nother camp of people I gotta do stuff for, so...
Okay, so you said that 2-month break, right?
Yeah.
Is that after the queen has been dealt with?
No.
This is after. This is if you can get to the desert and stop the fighting.
She'll still be going around.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to know. All right. I know off the top, Rolly knows of the upcoming fight, and he is going to get better. He's going to train. He's going to, now that he actually has some money saved up, he's going to get stronger enchantments. He's going to take that time to really hone his skills, hone his weapons, hone his equipment, so that he's ready. Because he knows you don't F with a lich, dude.
I was going to say,
you don't.
This crew, the Three Griffins, is so much different than the Surf's Blade. You know what I mean? And I know for the audience, they're like, who's the Surf Blade? That's from the Campaign 0. So yeah, it's, man. And speaking of enchantments too, it's like you guys are way more beefed up than Inosuke, Gwendolyn, or Iris ever was.
Mm-hmm.
So
unfortunately, we don't have a chimera, but hopefully.
Thank you so much for joining us for Short Rest, everyone.